Alternative Fat Chicago.
Chicago's #1 podcast.
The city of Chicago. Alternative Fat Chicago.
Chicago's #1 podcast.
I'll make a scene.
Audio production.
The city of Chicago.
Literally, as soon as I stepped out the elevator. Are you ready?
Enough about my scent.
Why is it so weird?
It's weird. I smelled you when I got off the elevator.
No, I said I smelled your scent.
It's even weirder. That's even weirder.
No, it's not.
It is, though.
Don't people have scents? Like, come on. It's normal.
Okay.
Back for episode 67, Alternative Fact Chicago. B-Hun here. It's freezing. It's been freezing for days. Kate, what up?
Hey.
How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am doing great outside of the fact that it's cold. It's like bitter cold, too.
Yeah, it was. It was like super cold today.
It's bogus. When you have to like prepare to go outside, like why can't you just get up and go outside? Like why do you have to like actually bundle up, put on like more clothes and all that?
I mean, you don't have to.
I mean, you don't have to, but if you want to stay warm outside, you kind of you probably
decision
should.
To do so.
I'm over it though.
Winter just started. So
That's the problem. And the
I
fact
really don't
that
want to hear you during this.
The fact that I'm already over it, that's not a good sign. Did you have a good week?
Yeah, I've had a great week so far.
You're always so busy.
Yeah, I am. I was really, really busy this week, but things are about to wind down. I'm going on my vacation for my birthday.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Where you headed to?
New Mexico, Albuquerque.
What the hell was in New Mexico?
Yeah, lots of stuff.
Oh, yeah? What are you going to do?
I'm going to see it all.
Isn't, this is probably sounds terrible. Isn't Tijuana there? That's regular Mexico. Oh, gosh.
Oh,
people probably think I'm an idiot when they listen
they
to like
do.
this guy.
Yeah, they do.
Hey, at least I can make fun of myself. It's all good.
Yeah.
So that's regular Mexico. I've never been though, but I heard it's a great time. Wait, New Mexico is Tijuana.
New Mexico or Old Mexico?
I've never been I've been to Mexico, but not to Tijuana.
Oh,
I've never been to New Mexico, but isn't that where Breaking Bad was filmed?
It is, yeah.
So that's kind of what I picture. It'll be just a big desert, old cars, stuff like that.
It's actually like really gorgeous there. Lots of mountains, lots of things to do outside. Slightly warmer than here, but not by much. So
gonna make some drugs while you're there.
Yeah, for sure.
Absolutely.
Pedal some meth. That's my plan. Happy birthday to Kate.
Yeah. Thanksgiving's coming up. I'm going to Detroit next week. Can't wait.
Cool.
I got actually a busy time. So, idiot friend, love him to death, Jordan, if he listens to this. So, he decides to have his bachelor party the night before Thanksgiving.
It's a really good idea.
Terrible idea because it's the night before Thanksgiving.
It's actually a huge party day, though.
It's allegedly the biggest bar night of the year, which is vastly overrated. Every bar is just overcrowded, slammed, hard to get a drink. It's actually not the funnest night to go out of the year, but just by the terminology, everyone feels like they have to go out.
Right.
So I think last year I didn't even go out on the biggest bar night of the year. But before, like in the past, it was always like, oh, you had to go out that night.
Right.
So, but anyway, part one. So he has his birthday. Actually, I'm sorry, his bachelor party that night. Then, of course, you got to wake up. It's Thanksgiving the next day. Then on Saturday is his actual wedding. So on Thanksgiving weekend, he's tying up our entire weekend for his wedding.
But he's your friend, so
yeah. So
it
just makes my
just
week,
like the snow. It's gonna happen.
It makes
Get over
my
it.
Thanksgiving weekend that much more busy. So actually, I won't actually be able to relax. I'm gonna actually be on the go for that entire time. So sorry if I don't get to see you in Detroit. You already know my weekend. I'm gonna be incredibly busy, but I will do my best. But I can't wait to be in the D. So
cool.
Let's do it. Let's get to our plug in social media. Where can they find you?
On Instagram at Kate, CAIT, no Jenner. And then also on Twitter, Kate Hassett. And then follow the podcast, Alternative Facts Chicago, on Facebook and Instagram. And then on Twitter, we're AFacts Chicago.
Yep. And then I am at BHUN1984. That's BHUN 1984. You can always email us sponsorship ideas as alternativefactschicago@gmail.com. I know we had some people inquiring about some of our prices and sponsorships lately, so that is good. Keep them coming. We are always looking for more, but we thank you all for the support. Also, please keep leaving us iTunes reviews. We are definitely over 200 now, so for all of those who listen to us and my cries for help to get over 200, It has worked, so I appreciate that. Our Facebook likes have grown immensely over the last couple of weeks, so please keep those coming as well, too. Reviews, all that, it definitely helps. And we will have a website coming early 2019. I promise you that is next on our radar.
Cool.
Awesome. What else we got?
Come see us live. We're going to be hitting the stage at the Chicago Podcast Festival. It's already going on now. Some other podcasts that we follow on social have already done their shows, but we will be doing our live show Sunday, December 2nd. Tickets are on sale now. We're taking the stage with the Southside Heat podcast. It's Antoine Walker, former NBA player, and Clement Townsend. It's going to be a great show. This is not Behan's first live podcast, but it's ours together as a duo. So I think it's going to be a great time, and you can come hang out with us live, but you got to get your ticket now. So check it out on Facebook. We have the link plastered like everywhere.
Everywhere. And I know a lot of people are last minute. I know a bunch of people have said they'll get it the day of the show. Please just get it ahead of time because it may be more expensive at the door. I'm not 100% positive.
Yep.
We will know soon. So it's only $14. I know you got it. It's December 2nd. It's in the evening. It's a Sunday night. I know you got nothing to do, so please come out and come show support. They're a lot of fun. Drinks will be flowing. Will be very engaging, very interactive, so it's a great time. Antoine Walker, obviously NBA champion. Clement also is cool as well. We're trying to set up something of a type of collaboration podcast, either on our show or theirs beforehand. May or may not work out, but it'll definitely be a fun event, and I'm excited to meet those guys.
Can't wait.
Yep. So it'll definitely be a good time. So I think the actual week of the festival is November 26th through the 2nd. So I think every single night there'll be like different shows. So there's a lot of podcasts. They have their flyer going around. Looks like a music festival flyer. It's actually pretty dope. They did a pretty good job with it.
Awesome.
Yep. So I can't wait. December 2nd. Please come out, show support. We have more coming up on details very, very soon. And now this fan of the week is my guy. Good dude, been listening to the show. He actually started late. He was a guy that said, I've always seen you posted the show for the last, year and a half, but didn't ever really listen. I'm like, dude. And he felt bad about it. He was like, no, I'm very, very sorry. I'm like, bro, you do not have to listen. Like, I don't even care if any of my friends ever listen. I'm not the type of guy. I know a lot of people get pissed. They've had like polls on like podcasts. They're like, do you get mad if your friends not listen to your podcast? And I was like, I don't really care. Like, I'm not forcing anyone to listen, but there's some people that actually take it to heart. Do you get mad if your friends don't listen to Alternative Facts Chicago?
I don't get mad. I don't get mad. And I'll tell you, I learned the hard way, like in radio, like being on the radio and being like, oh yeah, someone like sparks up a conversation with you and you're like, yeah, I talked about that on the radio today. And they make it very clear that they didn't listen to you.
Right.
I learned very quickly that like nobody listened to the radio. So that's fine. But no, I don't take it to heart. My friends do listen sometimes, and I know because they'll send me messages and stuff. So, it's always nice to have friends, but whatever.
Yeah, and it's hard. I mean, obviously we do an episode every single week.
Yeah.
The good thing is that it's on demand, so you can listen and catch up whenever you want. But yeah, I never take heart when people say they don't listen. I don't take offense to it because there's enough listeners out there that do, so it evens out for himself. But regardless, back to my story. So this guy, his name is Brandon Brindley. This is my homie, one of my workout partners. He's actually been listening like for about the past month now. He said the show's great. Show's awesome, very informative. It's funny. We can relate to all the topics that we talk about. Keep us updated on the city of Chicago. I'm like, duh. I know. That's exactly what we do. But shout out to Brandon. It's my homie. He is our fan of the week. So shout out to you for that. And I heard I got a lot of backlash for our Clown of the Week segment this past week. Some people said that I was kind of off base in my line of thinking. But I love you guys, but I'm not changing my stance on that one. Sorry, Iggy. Go make some music. She has no comment. See, the problem, I know she wants to go in on me, but she's relatively being tame about it. But one day we're going to have her just go with her feelings and let me know.
I told you exactly how I felt.
Off
I
the
told
air.
you. No, I told you on the air exactly how I felt.
I know, but I know there's a lot more. So one day, well, let me have it. But I understand. I hear all the concerns
I can
on the
respect
topic.
other people's opinions.
Absolutely, and so can I. So
I will say you sounded ignorant.
I understand that, but my opinion is my opinion. I did talk to a lot of my friends who agree with me too, so I get both sides. I mean, everyone can have their opinion on the situation, but it's a good topic. I like talking about things where it can spark a conversation, no matter who's right or wrong. I'm always open to other people's opinions. If they say that I do sound ignorant on topic, it's fair. We talk about a lot on the show, so I'm not going to always be knowledgeable or always say I perfect or right in everything I say.
I am, though. I'm always knowledgeable.
Exactly.
I'm always perfect. I'm always
Of course you are.
right. Kate Hassett 2020.
There we go. So all good. Love the fans. We love all the support, positive, negative, and everything in between.
Michelle, let's get on to some main
Yep. So
topics.
now we're trying to decide like what we should talk about first. I'm not gonna lie, fans of the show, it's been a slow week. Not much has happened. Like ever since the election fallout, it's been pretty chill in the media the past week. But obviously, everything going on in California is a hot topic right now. The California wildfires, it's crazy. It's all the celebrities, not even celebrities. I know they get the most attention because they have the most money. They're in the limelight. But there's been a lot of people just in general that have lost their homes, materials. I think I read today over 100 people are missing or still not accounted for right now. Of course, our lovely president, Donald Trump, had to kind of put his foot in his mouth, which he always does once again. So I kind of want to talk about this, his comments and what the people or what anyone can do to really help the situation. So if you've been living under a rock and all the wildfires going on, Donald Trump did say there is no reason for these massive, deadly, and costly forest fires in California, except that forest management is so poor. Billions of dollars are given each year with so many lives lost, all because of gross mismanagement of the forest. Remedy now or no more Fed payments. Did some research on that. He is totally off base. But what's your comments on Trump and then the situation overall, Kate?
Well, obviously, it's a terrible situation overall. I mean, lives have been lost, towns have been burned down, not just celebrities. I think I read that there's been 8 reported deaths so far, which is, I mean, a large number for a natural disaster like this right now. But I think at the end of the day, it just comes down to the fact that Trump made a statement like he does, but he made it on Twitter. And so we need to step back and really think about this. And we bring it up all the time. We brush it off all the time. But it's just so freaking crazy that we live in this day and age where our president is just spitting random things at the keyboard. And I just can't even imagine. I just can't even imagine during Barack's presidency if he had done anything on Twitter, like how people have reacted. And Trump does it and it's normal. So it's just crazy. I think it's so insensitive that he's just like blaming it on California right now. And we know from evidence, and I know you're probably going to dive in and talk more about it, but like that's not the truth. And like the federal government does already pay for forestry in California. So obviously like it's his fault and he can't like cut off money just like that. Like, oh, I tweeted, so it's real. Like send tweet, I'm Trump. Like you can't just like cut off payments to California. Obviously they're in a crisis right now where they need the money. This is essentially a natural disaster, something that's going on right now. People are losing their lives and all their belongings, everything they've built. And he's on Twitter like, oh, y'all should have done better. Like, come on, Trump. It's like ridiculous. This is your idea of a press conference, like by just like hitting the trending button. Like I'm so over him going to Twitter over every little thing.
Absolutely. And I think the way he prefaced it, he made it to seem like the state of California was to blame for all this, when in reality, according to this article I looked up, that California owns just 2% of Florida land in the area. So only 2% is what they own. The federal government owns upwards of over 60%. So the people that he should be blaming, is his own federal government, not the state of California or like other, I think, private landowners, timber companies, and other Native American tribes make up for the rest of it. There's not much you can really do when in reality there's been higher winds the past few years. So that's a factor of it. You can't control, climate change. You can't control anything like that. Like, we're just natural people. Like, how are we going to really stop these fires?
And you can't control how much forestry is out there. I mean, California wildfires are a thing. This isn't like a natural phenomenon. This happens at least every year. There are fires, not necessarily of this caliber, but it happens. It happened in Tennessee last year, the Dollywood fires. It happens over the United States. It's not like California just really messed up and they were forsaken with fires in their trees. Like, it's just ridiculous.
They were saying like erratic wind behaviors, higher temperatures early this year have dried out all the vegetation. So it's just natural things that have happened. I did read a report that they were trying to say like the cartel in California, just for like all the drug purposes, are like slowly like setting off random fires. I'm not sure. That's just people just making up. I mean, it could or cannot be true. I'm not 100% prove it, but there's like little things that are people trying to say of like why these are caused. But honestly, I think when it's just natural disasters like this, there's not much you can really do but try to maintain it as best as possible.
Yeah.
But I do thank all, the firefighters and everyone out there that have done the best that they can. But the problem is, I feel like it's still going on, correct? I don't think they've been remedied as of yet.
No, absolutely. And it's been going on for days. And the underlying issue also that hasn't really been talked about is that on Thursday, California asked Trump and the Federal Emergency Management Agency to issue it an emergency declaration.
Wow.
And he waited a whole day. So now, I mean, if we're looking at Wednesday now, it's been like a whole week and it's still going on. So not only did they recognize it was an emergency somewhat early on, but people were already getting hurt, getting killed before that. And then he still waited 24 hours to declare it an emergency. But, he took to Twitter. So thank God he was doing something.
Man, that guy's crazy.
He crazy.
But the positive, I guess, of spinning it into Chicago is people always say Chicago and like the crime, this, that, and the other, which is totally off base because people that say that it's never been in Chicago before, but we really don't have like any natural disasters. We don't really get tornadoes in the city. It doesn't come through the city.
Right.
Don't get wildfires. We don't get hurricanes. We don't get earthquakes. We're actually pretty much it does snow a lot, but it won't really kill you. I mean, you can just go inside. So at least if you move to Chicago, if you're not here, you won't die of like any natural disaster or natural cause or something like that.
I feel like that's a commercial for moving to Chicago. Like,
There
I feel
you
like
go.
you just got our marketing
There we go.
strategy
Unless for some
down.
reason the lake just comes like all through the city and we die that way.
Move to Chicago. You won't
There you
die
go.
by wildfire.
Then there we go. Didn't they say though? And this could be great. Here we go again.
I don't know.
Here we go.
I don't even know
So
where your
obviously,
brain's
remember
going.
in the Bible when they had the floods, all the animals were on the boat on Noah's Ark. Didn't they say at the end that the next time there would be a natural disaster, it would be caused by fire? So what if for some random reason, my conspiracy theory had that all the fires just keep going through California and spread to the United States and we're screwed? What if this is the end of the world? It said in the Bible, could be.
So everything in the Bible is true. Thank God.
Some of it. Depends what you believe. Hey, fans, let us know. Is it the end of the world or what?
Is it the end of the world?
It's the end of the world as we know it.
Oh, goodness.
Absolutely. But no, it's Donald Trump's crazy. I just really do hope that they can kind of, remedy some of these wildfires. And, prayers up for all those that have lost their homes. I think they said Kylie Jenner too, right? She was part of the ones that lost their home.
All of the Kardashians are like evacuated and a lot of them have had damage. And then Miley Cyrus and Liam Hemsworth, their home is obliterated.
Obviously, they got, millions of dollars. They got insurance, but still, I'm sure a lot of memories that are gone there.
Yeah,
so.
it's just tragic. Nobody wants to go through it. So
Yep.
Now's a good time to make donations to the American Red Cross as they help take care of everything out there. So, every little bit helps.
Absolutely. What else we got?
Jimmy Butler finally got his trade. If you've been living under a rock and didn't know, he's asked, at least 4 times for a trade from the Minnesota Timberwolves. He was finally granted a trade to Philly. So I know he's excited. I know Philly is excited. But the underlying question right now is, should players be able to call these shots? Should they be able to demand trades? Are they supposed to be like in control of their careers this way?
So I would say no. It's a little ridiculous how he essentially caused a lot of havoc in Chicago, ended up wanting out of there, got out of there. They traded for him to go to Minnesota, caused a lot of havoc there, ended up getting traded out of there too as well. I think it's a stain on his career and like the fact that obviously he's in Philadelphia now. We'll see how that experiment goes. But if this one goes south, this is really going to hurt his career, and know that sometimes people just may not want to play with this person. I know he's an upcoming free agent. If you're an NBA free agent and he may or may not want to come to your team, I know he's a competitive guy, but if he's calling these types of issues in the locker room, I don't think I would ever want him part of being on my team. Jimmy Butler is a very, very good to almost like borderline great player. Is he a guy that's going to lead you to an NBA championship? I'm going to go no. I don't think if he's your primary piece of the puzzle, you're not winning a championship. He's a good second or third option. So for that, I say kudos. Yes, he is an all-star. But I don't think he's anywhere like LeBron James level, Kevin Durant level, Steph Curry level to where he should really just be calling his shots like that. Honestly, I think he just kind of hurt their franchise in Minnesota. Like he held them essentially like up in arms, held them hostage until forced you to make a trade. So I think it's a little bogus of what he's done. He is ended up in a great situation in Philadelphia now. Their starting five is nasty. I think he's debuting tonight. I think it's his very first game. So he's really got to show up. He's got to show out. So all eyes are going to be looking on him. But to answer your question, I don't think players, they make a lot of money. I get it. But you should play with the team that you're on until your contract is up. But I know with personalities, I know how things work. It doesn't always happen that way.
Yeah, I mean, I normally would agree with you and say that, but I think that this is what he had to do. I think that he knows he's not the player that's going to bring a team to a championship. He knows he can't carry a team on his back. He is absolutely not a LeBron James. And so I feel like he just knew that this is what he had to do. He had to basically make it very, very obvious that he wanted to go and ask for it until it happened. I think that we're kind of seeing this trend happen in sports more overall right now, where players have a lot of influence and a lot of notoriety behind their names, and when you're selling a player to a team, you know, you're selling a lot of things about them. You're selling their brand, you're selling what they're going to bring to the city, you're selling what they're going to bring to the franchise, of course, what they're going to do on the field or on the court. And so I think when, you know, when the money has flipped and the way sports are going now, I think we're going to see this power struggle happening a lot. I think that players are going to be trying to take back the power in their career and decide where they're going. I don't think this is going to be the first or the last instance of this. But yeah, like you said, he's got a lot to prove right now, not on the court, but in terms of like how he plays well with others at this point, because he's caused a lot of ruckus in all the other cities he's been in. Right. And it's like, how is he going to mesh? How is he going to mesh with Simmons? You know, is he going to be able to accept like playing together on the court? Is he going to be able to accept a new coaching staff where he's probably not going to get his way the way he has in the past, because he's not Philly's only player. He's part of a team now. Whereas in Minnesota, I feel like he just got whatever he wanted. So I think it's just going to be a really fun season to watch, and I'm excited to see what happens. But yeah, their starting lineup is sick, like 96 Bulls sick. Right now.
No, hold on. I was slowing down the 96 Bulls sick. But yeah, they got Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons, Jimmy Butler, JJ Redick starting now. I think they're going to
run some stuff.
Wilson Chandler is a dope player that just came back from injury. So their starting five is nasty.
Absolutely.
I will give them that. It actually makes the Eastern Conference way more competitive. Obviously with Toronto, the Boston Celtics. I would say the Boston Celtics starting five is more 96 Bulls. But we'll see. They're still trying to figure out how to like play with each other. But
yeah, I don't know. I think if Jimmy Butler comes in and plays well, I think that they'll be better than the Celtics.
You think they'll be better than the Celtics?
Absolutely
okay.
do. I think Jimmy Butler, when he's part of a team, plays so seamlessly. I think this is going to be a great starting lineup for them.
It should be interesting because they got a lot of personalities. Like I heard Ben Simmons and Joel Embiid don't really get along, which I can kind of see. Joel Embiid has a big personality. We'll see how Embiid and Butler mesh together. Yeah. I feel like they may butt heads a little bit, but and he needs to realize it's Joel Embiid's team. Like he's by far and away their best player. I'm sorry, Jimmy Butler. Like you're a great player, but Embiid's better. He needs to realize he's going to be at least a number 2 or even number 3 option. Ben Simmons can do a lot. He's also an all-star caliber player, so we'll see how they figure it out, but I'm excited to see how they do in the next few weeks here.
Yeah. I mean, I think the other thing to consider is that those two players that don't get along, they happen to like leave everything on the court. Like besides assumptions and rumors and he said, she said, we don't really see any of that.
Absolutely.
So I think it's all going to depend on how Jimmy meshes into this.
Absolutely. We will be watching this with close
Everyone's
eyes.
Gonna be watching.
Absolutely. We're going to be talking about the NBA a little bit more later in quick hits. We're going to get to everything Chicago, but before that, we definitely need to pay some bills. So this portion of Everything Chicago is sponsored by the Wrigley Report. Cubs fans, if you're looking for the latest Wrigley renovations, updates, team news, player analysis, and overall Cubs news, look no further than the Wrigley Report. Your source for all Chicago Cub news. You can find them on their social media at Wrigley Report. Once again, that is at Wrigley Report. We did see some articles coming up this past week about Chris Bryant supposedly getting traded. I think that's totally false. I don't think that's going to happen. I think we might have touched on that last week. We haven't heard anything about it since then, so obviously, and I'm pretty sure those reports were probably very false. I think it was definitely
fake news.
Definitely clickbait. Quickly, Bacchus Entertainment, our guys, they did reschedule. Obviously, this Saturday was going to be their very first bar crawl, Flapjacks and Flannels. It is officially set for January 26th. They have all the social media's updates. They got some teas I think they're giving away. A lot of giveaways. They're doing some cool things. So that is be perfect. It'll be after the holidays into January. So we'll have more details coming up. But Alternative Facts Chicago will be a part of their bar crawl.
Yeah, actually, they just announced $10 tickets right now.
Oh, wow.
If you buy early. So, you know, if you can plan that far in ahead and you want to buy your ticket early,
$10.
In for $10. That's a good deal.
That's a good deal for a bar crawl. So,
and all the bars are doing like $1 whiskey shots. So
okay,
it's my jam. You already know.
You love whiskey.
I do love whiskey.
Kate loves her whiskey.
I do.
What the hell's going on in the city of Chicago?
J.B. Pritzker, of course, winning the election just recently, and he is a huge marijuana supporter. We know that. So everyone's looking at Illinois right now, especially after J.B.'s win, and Michigan making marijuana illegal. Everybody's wondering, are we going to be next?
So we should be next. Obviously, in the state of Michigan, they just finally voted to legalize recreational marijuana. At this point, like, why would it not? Like, the state of Illinois, Chicago overall, we're in so much debt. And essentially what they were saying is the marijuana industry can help impact over $300 to $750 million in revenue. Don't you think with all the debt that the state of Illinois is in, that money would help us out?
It's not debt. It's not debt, right?
It's
a budget gap.
Yeah, a
That's
budget
what they
gap.
tell us. It's a budget
what
gap.
What the hell
it's
is
not
a
debt.
budget gap? And the funny part is, I think there's one guy, Jim Durkin. He's a House Republican leader.
Right.
Of course, he is totally against it, saying that like the revenue, they have other ways to try to fix the revenue, and like cutting costs and like cutting budgets will help the deficit. No, it's not, because if that was the case, they could have did that. And I don't know what the big issue. I feel like there's just such a taboo over marijuana and the weed term, when in reality, if it's legalized, it will help with, the illegal uses of it, from, obviously gangs, and things like that. I'm sorry, I'm lost for words right now, but overall, I think it's going to help.
People doing illegal things because marijuana is illegal. Yes,
exactly.
We see this. That's a trend, yes.
Like the cartel, street gangs, if they're doing it illegally, if it's legal, they're going to have to find something else to do. So I think overall it's going to help us, especially the state right now. I don't see why there's any reason why it shouldn't be. I know there's ways you can do it right now in the state of Illinois, so it's not 100% illegal, but I think at this point it should just be fully legal and figure out ways to disperse the revenue. I think they were saying that they may help it with funding, like for police, education, things like that. It's cool. Figure out how you want to disperse the money, but I think at this point it's something that we need to be progressive with and move on like some of the other states.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, us including, there's 33 states that have legalized medical marijuana, but only 10 that have legalized recreational, and one of them is Michigan. So I feel like we're in a really good situation right now with JB being the leader on this forefront, because obviously, and I'm going to go on my little soapbox, but like obviously there are people that are out there that are saying like, oh no, don't make it legal. We can cut spending. And because that's what we continue to do. We cut spending from things like schools and paving the roads and doing great things in our community, because like, oh no, we can't make marijuana legal. We have to like keep our community sacred and whatever, when it's like there are bigger issues at hand, and we know that it would bring in so much money and revenue to where we could make the changes that we need in the city. So I just think it's ridiculous, because any budget cuts are going to come straight from Chicago Public Schools, and that just like makes me so mad and just pisses me off anyway. But I think Illinois is in a really good stance right now. For one, our citizens are not unused to being taxed. So if they set a very high tax on it, people are still going to pay it because they want to use the recreational marijuana. And also, we're in the benefit of being like the learning situation. Like if they make it legal right now and they play around with the taxes and they work out how it's going to be taxed, how it's going to be billed, how we can make it work for us, it's going to be a learning instance for us to only make this go farther. Soon it would be, if we were successful with this, it would make it be recreationally legal everywhere in the United States, because people are going to follow suit to what we do. So, I mean, it puts us in a really influential position, and I feel like everybody's just kind of scared, and now's the time to make it happen.
Absolutely. I think we're just in a different time. It's 2018. We need to move on. It won't kill you. Like, you can use marijuana for good and not just have to be such the illegal taboo that it has right now. So I think we need to think like bigger picture of it.
And at the end of the day, just because it's legal doesn't mean you have to do it.
Absolutely. That is true too. And then two, the myth, I know in Michigan on my Facebook, it's been crazy. People have been so hyped about, recreational marijuana being legal, all that. Like, bro, you can still get your ass locked up. You can still go to jail over. You can still actually get fired or denied a job for failing a drug test. So I feel like people think it's just going to be a free-for-all now, just firing up blunts at their desks, like ashing all over the keyboards, rolling up a blunt, like talking to their manager. Absolutely not. Please don't get this idea. Like it's not like cigarettes now. It's just not a free-for-all. So just got to keep that in mind.
Who can like smoke cigarettes at their desk either? Though you can't smoke those inside.
You shouldn't be smoking cigarettes at all. Cigarettes should be illegal.
Agreed.
You can die
I'm
of
with
cigarettes.
you on that.
Yeah, please.
Gross.
If you listen to this show and smoke cigarettes, please stop.
Stop listening or stop smoking?
Stop smoking
oh, okay.
cigarettes.
I'm so used to just you telling people to stop listening.
Yeah,
to the show.
well,
if you voted for Trump, stop listening.
that too. Please never listen again.
But
please, listen to our show, but please just stop smoking cigarettes. That's such like that's so like 1990s, like early 2000s thing to do.
It's gross.
Absolutely. So, you're off your soapbox now?
Yeah.
Anything else?
No.
So, moral of the story: please legalize recreational marijuana here in Illinois.
How did we get here from that?
I don't know. I have no idea. Awesome. Also going on in the city of Chicago, more taxes.
Woo!
So now if you have a PlayStation, PS4 is hot. I'm a PlayStation guy. I prefer PlayStation over Xbox, even though I rock with Xbox. PlayStation's kind of always been my thing. So now there's a new 9% amusement tax for PlayStation users in Chicago. It's official. So the streaming services like Netflix, Spotify, Xbox Live, you're already taxed on that. So now they have reached an agreement with Sony to start collecting the tax from PlayStation users who have an address in the Windy City. Gamers are not happy, and this actually starts as of this Wednesday, so it starts as of today. So you're going to get a 9% tax for literally playing your PlayStation. It could be a movie on it, playing some video games, but you're actually going to be taxed from it. And I don't know if you know, if you ever buy tickets to an event or anything, you already have a tax, like an entertainment type tax that they have. The Chicago Tribune is calling the inclusion of streaming services and taxing the latest example of Mayor Rahm Emanuel boosting various smaller fees and fines to try and help close the city's gaping budget hole. So back to our thing with marijuana. How about with that $750 million in revenue that may help go? We don't have to tax people just to play a simple video game. What's up with that?
It's freaking crazy. I don't play video games, so this does not affect me, but it's just freaking crazy. Like we can just say like, oh, we can't legalize marijuana because we don't know how to tax it, but we will tax every other thing you do, including play your PlayStation. And you know, I mean, everybody is just kind of like upset about this, including gamers, because obviously they haven't fallen under this amusement tax for the last 3 years. This has been around for 3 years, and up until this point, it has not affected them until all of a sudden somebody decided like, oh yeah, PlayStation's amusement too, so we're going to tax them. It's just kind of ridiculous. It's like, where does it stop? Where do we draw the line?
Right.
So I just think it's sad. I think there's some things we could be doing to bridge the gaping budget hole that are not taxing the PlayStations in the city.
Yeah, it's basically taking our money to kind of fix the problems of the state and the city that's happened for so long. It's unfair. It's kind of like where we are. That's like the only downside. Chicago's the best city, I would say, in the world. But only downside, we get literally taxed on everything.
Everything.
Literally everything.
Everything.
So.
And I get the things like the sin tax, you know, taxing the cigarettes and taxing things that are whatever they deem bad for you. But, I mean, this is ridiculous.
Facts. What else is going on in our wonderful city?
Oh, some wonderful news.
Oh my God.
Chicago's first ever police cat is now a thing. It all started with a canine unit from Chicago Police Department, went into an elementary school, a little show and tell type thing going on, and a student asked why there was no police cats. And Chicago Police Department, because I guess they weren't doing anything else, decided to take it upon themselves to find Gizmo. Pofficer, that's a hard word to say. Pofficer Gizmo. Yeah, absolutely. He is the chosen one, the first Chicago Police Department in the 14th cat in the 14th district. He's in a police family, and now he's part of the department's community outreach program. So they posted it on Twitter. They got like 500 retweets. They're taking this cat into the schools. It's like, what is the point of this?
Well, A, one, only in Chicago. B, it's a slow news week, guys. I'm really sorry that we're talking about a police cat. I told you at the beginning that not much has gone on. It's been a slow news week. 3, A cat? Like,
What does a police cat do?
What do cats do anyway? Like, not cats are. I'm a dog person. Like, I love dogs. They're fun. They play with you. Cats are they're a different breed. Like, they really just don't listen to you for the most part. Some do, some don't. But a police cat, come on.
My cat's awesome, but I don't really feel like he could be a police cat. He's lazy, and he doesn't have really... Actually, I take that back. He has pretty good smelling abilities. I'm just going to say, not like a dog, but I don't really know what his use
Your
would be
cat
on
is
the
pretty
force.
smart. I will give you that.
Yeah, he's really smart. He does listen. He's really good, but I'm not going to, like, put him on the force or anything.
Maybe he should have been the police cat.
No.
You think they, like, had auditions and, like, they picked this guy?
I think they probably went to the pound and, like, picked up. But he was really freaking cute. It's a big furry cat.
Crazy.
Gizmo.
I guess so. What's he really gonna do? They're just gonna like send him around and like just
tweet
showing
about
people,
him.
tweet
That's
about
all.
him.
Yeah.
Have a nice life as a police cat, buddy. Have fun fighting crime. That's awesome. Check it out though. It's all over social media.
Yeah,
I'm sure you have, but only in Chicago. Crazy. Next, I'm gonna let you talk about this because I didn't really get a chance to actually read the open letter. I read like parts of it, but Michelle Obama, she writes an open letter to the city of Chicago. Pretty lengthy. I didn't get a chance to read all of it. What's your thoughts? I'll give you mine based off of my impressions of the article.
Yeah, so Michelle Obama is launching her new book, and of course she starts the tour in Chicago on October 27th. Tickets are like hundreds of dollars, by the way. I definitely looked them up. I'm not going to that. But really kind of cool. You know, a lot of people have just really resonated with Michelle Obama's story from presidency, and even before that, she's an amazing woman. Obviously, former first lady, wife to Barack, and a lot of people, you know, just like relationship goals right there. They kind of like have been together forever, and a lot of people like her. So I think there's a lot of anticipation around this book, and this was kind of part of the marketing for the beginning is a letter to the city of Chicago, and mainly I think to also people who have said that she's kind of sold out on her roots, her Chicago roots, and so it was kind of... It was a really interesting letter. I really like that she came out with this right before the book tour and talked about it and talked about growing up on the South Side. But what I think really resonated with a lot of people that they took away from this is that she said where she grew up on the South Side, her parents would hear from people all the time, like, oh, Michelle and then her brother Craig, they're such great kids, they're hardworking, you know, whatever. And her mom is the first one to say, like, Michelle and Craig are not special.
Right.
I just thought that was so interesting. She tells people, like, Michelle and Craig are good kids who worked hard and knew the difference between right and wrong. The rest of the world just didn't get to see that very often. So they weren't special per se. You know, there are people in the South Side that are living the correct life and are not part of the crime and are not part of the problem. And so she went on to say that this is why she's writing it to you, because all of that is still true of the South Side today. It's true of all the Chicago neighborhoods. And I just wanted to make sure you all can see it too. And she said she can't wait to see the young people growing up today walking the same sidewalks that she walked at, sitting in the same classrooms that she did, and there's no telling who they might become. So I think it was just a really lovely, thoughtful letter to her hometown. She hasn't forgotten her roots, like she hasn't forgotten where she came from. And I just think like it's a reminder that it doesn't matter where you come from and you could be whoever. I just thought it was really beautiful. That
was my biggest takeaway too, just the fact that she grew up on the South Side, and she said her experiences growing up were essentially the same that a lot of people have felt back in the day, and even now.
Yeah.
Like she said, she goes back to the South Side. It reminds her of the same South Side that she always remembers. So it kind of gives you hope to people that are on the South Side or anywhere in the country that you could be a regular person just like her. And if you get one opportunity, your life can change at a moment's notice.
Sure.
You may not have the chance right then and there. You may not see it. You may be stuck in a black hole, or you're never going to get out. You're never going to get your way or ever get that opportunity. But there is opportunity for you. You know, if you get good grades, you go to school, you make opportunities for yourself, you can get out of it. A lot of people, and if you're listening to this on the South Side, anywhere where it's, you know, a tough community for and you feel like there is no way out, use that as an example. Like, just know that there is a way out. There is a future for you. Just stay the course, stay in school, you know, stay playing sports, after school activities. It may not seem like it right now, but you'll definitely get your opportunity one day. And that was a message that Michelle Obama was trying to convey. And I think she did a really good job at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's just preface to her book and all the things she's going to be talking about in it. And I think a lot of people, you know, just think, oh, Michelle Obama, she's lived this fantastic life, and she was the first lady, and she's never gone through what we've gone through. But like, she has. She even talks about in her book, I guess her roommate at college, asked for a roommate change her freshman year because she was black. So like it's a beautiful and sad thing to tell your kids that they're not special, but I think it really worked for her in this case. Like, she's not special, she's not the exception. You know, she had to work hard and get out of her own situation, and like look where she is now. So
I wonder who that roommate is now.
Yeah,
like what's she doing now? She's probably like, yeah, like look at me now.
She knows.
Like Chris Brown.
Yeah, I guess.
Yeah. But no, shout out to Michelle Obama. It's always cool to see their story from Chicago, how things worked out. They're a great American family.
Yep. And her book's being released soon. So.
You gonna read it?
Oh, absolutely.
Actually, might check that out. She's probably got a lot of jewels.
I bet it's a great
book. That'll be dope. Absolutely.
All right, let's move on to some football.
Oh, God.
So, I don't know if y'all remember, but last week... I got really excited to talk about this. Last week, my prediction was that the Bears were going to beat the Lions naturally. And I said that the Lions were not even going to score in the first half. And it was a very bold prediction on my part. And I almost made it. And they scored in the last 55 seconds of the second quarter. And I was really about to talk some smack if they didn't. But they did. But still, the Bears defeated the Lions. Still number one right now. Trubisky had a fantastic game. Almost looked like the real deal for a second there. Completed 23 of 30 passes. Even ran one in himself.
Right.
It's just a really, really good game if you are a Bears fan. And my prediction was all based on just like the win we were coming off of. Obviously, I felt like it was going to be a big week for us, and it was. So what are your thoughts? Is this Bears team for real?
So first of all, in regards to Detroit Lions fans, I am hoping and praying that they decide to trade Matt Stafford because he deserves better. I think the Lions fan base is reams on him. He doesn't deserve it. He's a great quarterback. I think it's just the Lions ownership. It's the Lions as an organization. It's a black hole, and it makes players worse over time. It's just naturally what happens. It's why Calvin Johnson retired in his prime. Barry Sanders gave up and retired in his prime. And Matt Stafford may do the same thing too because it ain't worth it. He doesn't deserve it. He's got a lot of money, and he should not be losing as much as he is. Lions fans, it's not his fault. Even look at Eric Ebron. He left Detroit. He's killing it at Indianapolis with the Colts this season. So I think it's a city, but another topic for another day. In regards to the Chicago Bears, they played a great game. They looked like a complete football team. Mitch Trubisky looked like an all-pro quarterback. But I'm going to pause for a second because they did this against the Detroit Lions. And the Detroit Lions a lot of times makes a lot of guys look like all-star players. I will say, though, that Detroit had won, I think, 3 of 4 and 9 of 10 against the Chicago Bears, which is a crazy stat. So the Chicago Bears were due, so I will give them that. But keep in mind, they do play on Thanksgiving Day, coming up in another week on Thursday in Detroit. The Lions typically play pretty good that day, so we'll get their rematch. I'm picking the Lions to win that game. But I'll give you props. You did pick the Bears. The Bears did kick some ass. They looked great. They actually looked like a complete football team. I'm kind of excited. Like I said, the city is a much better city on Sundays when the Bears are good. Like, everyone wants to watch the game, go to the bar, watch at home. Like, everyone gets together as a group. So I think it's pretty dope for the city that they're actually good.
Yep, absolutely.
What do you think?
I mean, you already know. I thought the Bears were going to have a fantastic game. Just coming off the last 2 wins, we just really needed another good game, and I knew they were going to have it against the Lions. So Trubisky looks awesome. I've already said that. He looks great. I'm interested to see what's going to happen next. Because, any team that can beat New England and Green Bay deserves our full attention. So I think the rematch is going to be great.
Yep.
I will agree with you. Matt Stafford's way too good for the Lions. He's not a bad quarterback. But
not at all. He's great.
Yeah.
He's going to break, like, every Lions quarterback record when he's all said and done. The funny thing is, people outside of Detroit, like, love Stafford. They respect him. They want him more on their team. It's just weird Lions fans thinking he's the problem. And that's probably why Detroit Lions football just sucks, because the fans suck. I don't know. I don't talk about it anymore. But, yeah, free Matt Stafford. Maybe we should start a free Matt Stafford. I'm gonna get that going.
Okay.
Then we'll get some
Cool.
T-shirts.
I'll
But
find a
the Bears have the Vikings on the road this weekend and then at Detroit. So they have 2 big games coming up. We'll see where they stand. There's 2 big tests. But I hope and I think that they'll make the playoffs, whether they win the division or wild card. I think they're good enough to make it this season.
I agree.
That's a big step. Even if, obviously, I'm not saying Super Bowl or anything like that. But to make playoffs this year, I think that'd be awesome.
Let's not get crazy. Let's not get crazy. Although at the beginning of the season, people were saying we were going to be Super Bowl contenders, but that died very fast.
I feel that. Lastly, before we get to some quick hits, what's going on this week and new things going on around the city?
Yeah, so lots of things going on in the city as we move into Christmas season or holiday season, however you want to say it. One big thing is the Christkindle market opens again Friday, 29th year, and I guess the location has changed this year. I didn't go last year, so I wasn't around.
Me neither.
But so make sure you look before you show up to it. But that's going on. That's like a really big event. And then, of course, there's the tree lighting parade going on this Saturday at Millennium Park. Christkindle Mark goes for the rest of the month of December, so definitely check it out. And then some other things, the Randolph Street Holiday Market. So lots of ways to get out in the city. What are you most excited for?
Pretty much none of it. No, I'm just going. The festival, actually, I will say, I'm totally joking.
Pretty much, I hate Christmas. That's
no,
what you
I love Christmas. I like the holidays. I know like people are Scrooges and are over it, but I like the lights. You know, going downtown on Michigan Ave, State Street. It's cool to see just all the lights, Christmas lights, all the buildings. It's a pretty cool atmosphere. Like I said, which is a little bit warmer, but I mean, we're not going to win that being in Chicago. But they do well in the city and downtown, like making it feel like the holiday season. So I'm pretty excited for that. It's crazy. As soon as the holidays are over, that stuff's gone. It's like December 20. Actually, no, January 2nd. They usually leave it up like through New Year's, but January 2nd, that stuff's gone. And getting ready for summer. But yeah, it's a cool time. You know, a family. I like the holiday season. I'm one of those lushes, so can't wait to check it out.
Cool. Love it.
That's our Chicago news for this week. I love our city. I love the Everything Chicago segment. So we'll be back with that very soon. But what is going on with our crew at Posh by Imani?
Yeah, Quick Hits is brought to you by Posh by Imani, women's apparel boutique based out of Houston, founded on faith, love, and the right to stand out. Check them out right now. Free shipping until the end of the year and a brand new location coming soon for quality, affordable, chic apparel serving all women one curve at a time. Shop them on their website, poshbyimani.com. That's IMANI. Also on social media, Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram at Posh by Imani.
Yes. Shouts out to them. And this one, I can't wait to get your thoughts. I already know what you're going to say about this, but
why?
Man, women have been having
know me.
I do.
First of all, you don't
I know you very
me.
well. But women have been having a field day with this song, Ariana Grande. She probably made the women anthem of the year. Thank you, next. I've seen so many memes and quotables from women on Twitter, Instagram, all over the place. They love the song. But is this the biggest woman anthem ever?
Ever or of the year?
Ever.
No, definitely not ever. Definitely not ever. That's a joke. We have Aretha Franklin with Respect. We have Beyonce with Who Run the World Girls. I mean, that's not even a thought. I think that Rachel Platten's Fight song is more of a woman anthem than this. I think it was an okay song, but I didn't really think anything was even that special about it because she named some people she dated. Taylor Swift's been doing this for like 10 years.
That's a fact.
I don't really understand like why everybody thought this was a great song. I actually think it's probably my least favorite ever Ariana Grande song.
What?
The vocals weren't great. I didn't think any of it was like that fantastic. I thought it was like pretty boring.
So why do people love? I swear, women are all over the song just because obviously the theme of thanking their ex for making them screwing up and making them a better person, yada yada yada. I think it's an okay song. I like Ariana Grande a lot. I think she's one of the best, like top 2 or 3 pop singers in the world. I was like, when I heard it, I was like, when people were like, "Oh, check the song out, check the song out," I thought it was gonna be a banger. I'm like, "Oh, it's pretty good. It's okay." But not like just, it's already Billboard #1 after 1 week, so it's shot straight up.
Well, yeah, because it's Ariana Grande.
But not all of her songs shoot up that. I think just the message behind it. Like, all her songs don't go Billboard #1. I really just think it's because
she named Mac Miller.
Mac Miller. Well,
honest to God.
And she obviously dated Pete Davidson. She dated Big Sean. So she's dated some pretty big celebrities out there, but
I think it's because she named Mac Miller. I think it was all coming off of that, to be honest.
Think so?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. It's not that great of a song.
I don't think
so. And honestly, never mind.
Ariana's been on a tweeting rampage. I don't know what's going on, but she's single again. She's turning into a savage on social media.
Again.
She's been all over the place, like misspelling words and everything. I'm like, are you drunk? What's going on? Someone needs to talk to Ariana. But yeah, the song's okay. It's not bigger than what's that one song? It's like the white girl anthem is Whitney Houston. What's it? It's like a big wedding song.
Oh, the dancing
yes.
song.
Oh my God. You play that song at a bar. Every white girl singing.
There's a bunch of women anthem songs. I feel like Stronger by Kelly Clarkson. There's a lot of better ones. That's a good one. Yeah, it's a great song. I just feel like this is like meh.
Shout out Ariana, though.
Yeah.
That's my girl.
I mean, I'm going to sing it, but...
I'm going to sing it, though. I'm going to like it, but I'm going to sing it, though.
But, yeah, women's anthem of all time. No, probably for me, that's Beyonce Girls. I'm just saying.
Beyonce's the GOAT.
For sure. All right, let's move on in some sad news. Stan Lee, Marvel comic creator, passed away this past week. Rest in peace to him. Just a legend. The franchise summed up into one person. What is your favorite Marvel comic or anything he created of all time?
So I'm going to be the Scrooge. Rest in peace to Stan Lee. Obviously amazing. He's made a lot of money, created a lot of things that we have watched for many years, but I was not a Marvel fan essentially at all.
Really?
I like the Avengers,
What?
Ant-Man, Guardians of the Galaxy, Deadpool, Thor, Incredible Hulk, Iron Man. I would much rather be watching paint dry than any of those things. And I don't know why. It never really intrigued me, like the Spider-Man.
Wow.
I don't like watching fake things. I like watching real things. I don't know.
Do you like any superhero movies? Like, do you like DC? Do you like Batman?
I like Batman.
Why?
I don't know.
Why? Like,
probably
why
when I was
them?
a kid, I watched like the original one, so it kind of just like hooked me. I always liked as a kid like playing with the toys, so that was pretty cool. But I don't know. I watch wrestling, so that's why.
Oh yeah, so you like
Yeah.
real things
Yeah, I watch
apparently.
wrestling.
That's ridiculous. I can't believe you
WWE.
just said that.
I know. I knew you were gonna give me crap. That's
Oh
why
my
I said it.
God.
So unfortunately, I'm not the right person to ask because I was never really big until the Marvel movies. But I can see why it's wildly popular. It's done very well. He shaped a lot of our culture and things like that. So shout out Stan Lee, but it wasn't really anything that I gravitated to.
Yeah, that's cool.
What about you?
Your own opinions. I actually really like the Marvel movies because for anybody that knows me, I have a really hard time sitting still for long periods of
Facts.
time to watch a movie. I have a very short attention span in life and in movies. And I think that the superhero movies, particularly Marvel, have done a really great job of keeping it fun while having action and bringing it to a modern age. So I've always really enjoyed them. I like the comic relief every once in a while to the action. And I think Marvel does the best job at that, particularly like Avengers. I mean, Tony Stark. I mean, he's hilarious. And Guardians of the Galaxy. So those are probably my top favorite. I also really loved Black Panther. I saw Black Panther 3 times in theaters. I'm not going to lie. I thought that was one of the best movies of the year. Last year, right? 2017? Yeah.
Yeah, I heard good things about Black Panther. Actually, I watched it. It was cool to me, but I was like, But I get why people liked it, though.
Yeah, super good.
Super good. Gotta mention this. I know you're gonna like, why? But we got asked multiple times to do emergency podcasts on the WWE this week. I'm sure you saw the comments and our messages in our Twitter inbox. I had a couple people saying we need to do an emergency podcast on the WWE. So
What does that mean? An
emergency podcast. There's been a lot going on in wrestling. We have a new WWE champion. Daniel Bryan beat AJ Styles. So my thought is I'm glad for the wrestling fans that listen because we have some I know you hated. Daniel Bryan, I'm glad that he is a heel. Everything going on is weird right now. I'm not sure why AJ Styles not the champion. So Daniel Bryan is now facing Brock Lesnar this Sunday at Survivor Series. It's like brand versus brand. Like Brock Lesnar is the Raw champion. Daniel Bryan is the SmackDown champion. They're facing each other. So I'm cool with that. I don't think Daniel Bryan is going to win. He's going to lose for sure, or it'll be a disqualification. And in regards to Becky Lynch getting hurt, yes, she's killing it right now. She'll be fine. I think it's good. They should hold off on the Ronda Rousey Becky Lynch match until WrestleMania now. What they should do is strip Becky Lynch of the title because she's hurt. She should win the Royal Rumble and challenge Ronda Rousey at WrestleMania, and it should main event. They have no reason not to because Roman Reigns is out, so they need another story. They should do that. But doing Charlotte and Ronda is kind of pointless, but Ronda is definitely winning. That's my thoughts, and I'm sticking to it, but you can leave your comments later, and that is my WWE Minute. What do you think about that?
Awesome.
I had to do it.
I was on Twitter. Sorry, I didn't hear what you just said.
It's all good. Moving on. Jaden Smith. I love Jaden Smith. Amazing rapper. He makes dope songs. At Tyler Creator's Festival this past weekend, he stated that Tyler the Creator is his boyfriend. Is this a trolling job, or do you think this is true?
Honestly, I feel like it could be true. So yeah, he stood up on stage and said Tyler was his boyfriend. He loves him so effing much. And he said, like, Tyler doesn't want me to say it, but he's my boyfriend. And Tyler, of course, responded with, ha ha ha, you're crazy. But Tyler says some crazy stuff. I mean, in all of his songs and all of his lyrics, he just says some off the wall things. I mean, he's gone from like being like, suggestively homophobic to admissions of homosexuality in his songs, like more specifically like in his last album. He said he'd been kissing white boys since 2004, and he openly raps about hating women. I feel like he could actually be gay and they could actually be dating.
I think they actually are. I think it's try to come off as a troll job, but he, like you said, Tyler the Creator's mentioned multiple things about liking guys, or in some way didn't like admitting it to recently. So where there's smoke, there's fire. I don't think he would say it to be 100% troll job. And if they are dating, who cares? I think it's dope. Like who you like.
Yeah, for sure.
I think a lot of times he would think that because you're a rapper or a music artist, you have to have that bravado about you. But it's 2018, so
and also
like
there's
who you
just
like
that stigma that rap hates gay people,
right? Which
so.
is totally changed. Like it shouldn't be that way. I think honestly, the next openly gay rapper is going to be a huge megastar. I think that's a lane that really has been capitalized. And if there's one out there that decides to blow up, I think they're gonna kill it, and good for them.
Yeah.
So
and they make a
cool
cute couple.
Like who you like, man.
Goals,
That's
relationship goals.
There we go.
Cute.
No one said they're together, but actually,
they're together.
I don't know. Yeah, they probably are.
Yeah. Jaden literally said they were together. So you're wrong. All right, moving on. Some news. Lay's just introduced chocolate-covered potato chips. This is like breaking news. The crinkle kind, you know what I'm saying? Like the waves, the ruffles, you know what I'm saying? Dipped in chocolate. Kind of sounds weird to some people. Some people were saying it sounded amazing, but my question is, what's your favorite weird food combo?
Yeah, I think that's nasty. I don't think that would be so good, but
chocolate and potato chips.
I like
sweet and
Lay's.
salty?
I like Lay's potato. I don't know, not chocolate. I'm not really sure. I'm a fan of that.
Okay.
You buy a bag and let me know how it tastes.
I'm not gonna buy a bag. It
Okay.
sounds disgusting.
You made it sound like.
But I really don't eat chips, to be honest. So that's not really my go-to snack.
I feel that. So my favorite food, weird food combo, I like. This is awesome. I haven't made it in a while, but mac and cheese and tuna and hot dogs mixed all together.
Ew!
It is heaven.
How stoned were
in a
you when
bowl.
you invented this meal?
It's like heaven in a bowl. Try it. Make mac and cheese.
What kind of mac and cheese?
Like, just like either like you can either do Kraft or Velveeta. Velveeta's probably better.
Okay.
Take a thing of tuna and mix it after it's done, and then like make some hot dogs and cut them up and put it in and like mix it together. It's heaven in a bowl. Just try it.
That sounds disgusting.
Mac and cheese, tuna, and hot dogs. If you're listening to this, try it someday. Thank me later. I know there's some listeners that have done it. I know like people don't like mac and cheese and hot dogs. That's a combo. Or you like mac and cheese and just tuna. But combine all three together. Promise you'll like it.
I want to vomit. That sounds
well, what's yours?
Disgusting. Mine is, okay, so a lot of people are going to say like French fries in their ice cream or whatever. But mine is chicken nuggets in my Frosty from Wendy's specifically.
God. In
it
a Frosty?
So good.
Okay.
Has to be chicken nuggets from Wendy's and it has to be chocolate Frosty. But it is so good.
So what do you, so you dip it in there?
Oh,
like
yeah.
Sauce?
You look like a spoon. Just like,
what the?
That's so good.
All right.
It's delicious. Also, another one that I really like, shout out to a listener of the podcast and my roommate in college. Her name is Chelsea Logan. She's from Colorado, and she turned me on to watermelon with salt.
Well, that's not weird.
It's kind of weird. I was kind of grossed out when she told me about it, but it's actually delicious.
No, that's we've done that in Detroit growing up all the time.
Okay.
I thought that was pretty normal.
Yeah, fancy. I didn't think it was normal. I'd never eaten it before until I was like 23 years old.
She's been on top of that for years. I thought that was pretty normal. I guess weird.
I don't know. I've never heard of that before.
What do y'all do? You put sugar on your watermelon?
I'll put anything on my watermelon. You eat watermelon.
But with salt, it tastes. It makes it more flavorful.
Yeah, it does. It's delicious.
But
yeah, chicken nuggets and ice cream, specifically only from Wendy's.
All right, let us know whose idea was weirder, because I think yours is way weirder than mine.
You said ice
cream and chicken nuggets don't even remotely go together.
GTFO, that's gross.
God. Anyway, moving on. Predict this weekend. So they moved the game from Mexico. It was actually going to be in Mexico, but they had to because the field was terrible.
Right.
They kept residing it, and they didn't want to risk getting hurt. They even said a lot of the players from the Kansas City Chiefs and the LA Rams said they weren't going to play this weekend, obviously not to risk injury. So NFL had to move the game. So this weekend, Kansas City and the LA Rams are playing in LA, which is essentially makes it a home game for the Rams now. So prediction, who do you think is going to win the game this weekend?
I'm so excited to see this game. It's going to just be like a preview of Super Bowl 291 teams. It's going to be amazing. I'm going Rams 38-34. I think at the end of the day, it's just going to come down to the defense. You know, the Rams defense has shown its flaws in the last couple weeks, but I think it's going to come down which one can be trusted more. And for the whole game, I think that's going to be the Rams.
Interesting. So I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. I think they're rocking. Yeah, I gotta be different. I mean, I'm not super sold on the Rams. Like, I feel like we talked about this last week, so I need to be redundant. But I think the Chiefs are on a mission unless they play the New England Patriots. I think that's the only team that can stop them. I'm gonna go with the Chiefs. It'll definitely be a shootout. I'm gonna go 45-42. It'll be a great game, but the Chiefs are gonna win on the road.
Okay.
We'll have to see how that turns out. I'll definitely be watching. That's a good game.
Yeah, absolutely. I can't wait. Can't wait. Okay, let's move on to some basketball news. Draymond Green suspended from this game for following a shooting match. A shouting match with Kevin Durant. It was reportedly carried over into the locker room. Some words were flown. I guess Green called KD a B word. Yeah, it all happened Monday after their loss to the Clippers. Should Draymond Green be traded after this incident?
Yeah, I'm not a big Draymond fan, even from his MSU days, so I'm a little bit biased, obviously, being a Michigan fan. Obviously, he's a really good player, all-star caliber player on that team. I feel like if he was not on Golden State, he wouldn't even be close to an all-star. Like, he shouldn't even be your top 2 or 3 option on any team, but he fits with that team right now. And I think, obviously, the fact he's won some championships, he's been there a while, that he feels like he can talk to anybody how he wants. But it's Kevin Durant, Steph Curry, Klay Thompson. Those are the top 3. They don't even consider Draymond on that level. So I think he's in over his head. I think he's very, very tradable. Like, if they got someone else, they wouldn't miss a beat. So I'm saying he probably dug his own grave. Like, you can't call someone a BITCH and come back from that. Like, I know your teammates and this and that and the other. I'm saying trade him. Get him the heck up out of there. Teach him a lesson. You are, replaceable. You're not like the end-all, be-all of the Golden State Warriors. So I'm saying trade him.
Yeah, it's not even like he called anybody that word. Like, he called KD that word, and I feel like that was just a mistake. Like, you're nowhere near Kevin Durant's level, so that was kind of sad. But I don't think they're going to trade him. I don't think that they really have it. I don't really think that they have issues. Obviously, they've won championships together. They've been teammates for 3 seasons. I mean, they were on the Olympic team together. I don't think that this was probably indicative of their relationship. I think emotions were probably flying, and I think he is like a hothead on the court. So I think that they're just going to slap him with the fine. They're going to suspend him for 1 game, and he's going to be back, and hopefully he'll have cooled down by then. Yeah,
I think he'll be back, obviously, but something to think about. Kevin Durant is a very sensitive person. I'm sure he won't forget this.
Right.
He's done it in the past, but something to keep hold of. But they're still by far and away the best team. No one's still going to beat them, so they're just playing essentially to beat themselves this season.
Yeah, I don't know if you saw the press conference afterwards where they were asking Steve Kerr like what he thought about the whole situation, and he brought up when he got in a fight with Michael Jordan. Did you see that?
Oh, God, yeah.
Yeah, it was super funny. He was someone asked about the Michael Jordan fight and if it was like similar situations, and he basically said that he kicked Jordan's ass, and it was really funny. It was like the only time he smiled during the whole interview.
I rock with Steve Kerr. He seems like
for sure. I bet he's great. I bet they like him a lot.
Absolutely.
He is a good coach, but
staying on hoops real quick. Should Carmelo Anthony? He's at Houston. He's with the Rockets right now. Hasn't played the last couple of games. They're talking about waiving him. Hasn't really worked out. He's kind of been a scapegoat for their struggles right now. That's a whole other story in itself. But should Carmelo Anthony retire?
Yes. Oh my gosh. Yes. I just think that it's like I feel so bad for him. It's so sad. Like, word surfaced that he was going to retire earlier in the season already. And it's just like speculations are going around. McGrady obviously has come out saying that he should retire. He's already Hall of Fame worthy. He's 10-time NBA All-Star. He's been in the league for years. He's a household name. And I just feel like it's time. He had that 1-year stint in Oklahoma City, a rough start with the Rockets. And now he's at his career low in minutes. Like, it's not going to go up from here. I feel like you should just call it.
Yeah, and he's got to remember, he's been in the league 15 plus years.
Right.
Like, that's a long time to be at a high level. Like, Dwayne Wade's not that good anymore. Chris Bosh retired.
Right.
The only one that's still at that level is LeBron James. So he's been around a long time. I don't think he should retire, but he should understand his role, come off the bench for a team, and even if you only score 8 to 10, 11 points, like, just know that's your role. You can actually win a championship on your way out. But for him to still think he's a star, all-star caliber player, sorry, bruh, those days are over.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't think he needs to retire, though, but I do think he should accept having a diminished role on a team. And Houston's wrong for making him the scapegoat. Like, that's crap. They let go. They didn't resign 2 other players that were great defensive players like Trevor Ariza. Like, Carmelo Anthony's not known for defense, so to bring him in there and try to make him the scapegoat, sorry, Houston, you guys are clowns for that.
Yeah, I don't think he's ever going to get on, like, a better franchise team, though. So
yeah, right.
I think he should probably just cut cut his losses.
Make your money and go play. You can win with Houston, but just know your role and shut your mouth. That was a statement by The Rock. You remember The Rock used to always say that?
Yeah,
know your
I
role and
remember.
shut your
I watched
mouth.
The Rock all
He
the
even
time.
said
That was so good. He's my favorite.
Just can't get with my
Well, why do
wrestling
you
jokes.
ask me?
You can't.
Like, why do you ask me and then get
gotta-
mad when I don't know?
You gotta know my wrestling
Ask
jokes,
Twitter.
man.
I
They'll
don't-
know. They'll know.
Okay, cool. So ask them. Why are you looking at me and getting mad? Do you want to talk about something that I like that you don't and I can get mad at you?
Let's talk about Trumpy Bear. How about that?
Okay, cool. So that's a no. You don't want to talk about makeup?
Nope.
Okay, great. So Trumpy Bear, if you haven't heard, was just released this week. It is an American-themed teddy bear that, you guess it, looks like President Trump, comb over and all. But actually, what's kind of ridiculous and why this is trending is the commercial. You have to watch the commercial for it if you haven't seen it already. It's a bunch of just like ridiculous people that are like, I mean, you just think the most cheesy buy this on TV only commercial, and it's like those people compiled talking about a bear that's in support of President Trump. It's like, I love my Trumpy bear. He sits in the front of my motorcycle and keeps me safe. And it's just like freaking ridiculous that we're making toys for children. I mean, I guess these are adults that are endorsing it, but that are just, so political. And then also there's a zipper in the back that opens up, and it's like an American flag blanket, which for the record, I thought was kind of like not what you're supposed to do. Like, aren't you supposed to like not have American flag things like that? Like, isn't that what everybody was like up in arms about like a couple years ago, like American flag bathing suits and towels and things? But like if it's Trumpy Bear, it can be a blanket and that's okay. Like that's what makes the difference.
Crazy. It's crazy. That the commercial actually was pretty funny. I was dying and watching that commercial.
It was ridiculous
until he like pulled the blanket out of his body. And then he was like hanging off of the flag. It was hilarious.
Yeah.
It's kind of creepy.
And it
though.
can be yours for like 2 payments of $19.99.
Okay. This is an infomercial. Sound like we're on a commercial all of a sudden.
Well,
Well, I'm sure a lot of people, those things are probably going to sell.
Yeah, people are definitely buying them for sure. It wouldn't be around. And speaking of Trump-themed toys, there was also a tweet that one of our followers, Josh Waters, the breakup artist, my roommate, we talked about him a couple times, he tweeted at us that Lego was making a Make America Great Again Lego set where you can build the wall. I actually looked into this because we were on the topic of Trump-themed toys, and I was like, this is not a coincidence that was twice in 1 week. It's actually not made by Lego. It's made by some like knockoff company. It's like a wannabe Lego toy, but it is a real thing. So you can buy a essentially Lego set, but it's not called Lego. And there's a President Trump and there's a couple other little people, and you can build the wall to keep immigrants out. So I really think that this is sad because I think Lego is going to get some slack for this.
Absolutely.
And it's like, how else can you describe a Lego without saying Lego? And that's
right?
their brand name, so that kind of sucks.
I think it's stupid all the way around, but hey, people are going to support Trump anyway.
You're not going to buy your daughter and make America great again?
Not.
You're not going to urge her to build the wall?
And if she actually
little Trumpy bear to cuddle at night when she's
never,
missing you in Detroit?
She would never come at me and say she wanted one either, so I don't think I have any worries of that ever happening.
Smart girl.
She's a smart girl. Awesome. And lastly, and you were like, wait, what? So MTV The Real World, which is crazy. It hasn't been on for probably like the past 2 or 3 years. They've still been doing MTV The Challenge, but MTV, they're actually going to do a reboot combined with Facebook Studios. It's actually going to premiere and air as of right now on like their Facebook Watch channel. So Facebook's actually really trying to like make this a thing and have you actually like truly watch their stations and programs and actually have a channel from it. But they're upping it. They're actually bringing it back. And the difference is, so before it used to be like you had to appear between the ages of 18 to 25. They actually changed the requirements. And now you have to appear, from their exact quotes, appear to be between the ages of 21 to 34. Meaning you don't have to be 34. You could be down near 45. But if you look like you're 34, you could fit the show. So they're actually doing like some different things now. There's going to be like based in the U.S., like 3 different continents too as well. So I don't know what that means, but they're actually bringing the show back.
Cool.
What do you feel about that?
So I think it's interesting the platform that they chose, like this Facebook Watch, and you were saying earlier, that they're trying to make this like a streaming thing, but I think it opens it up to have like more interactive opportunities. I mean, fans are going to get to like vote like right there in Facebook. They're going to get to join the conversations.
Yep.
They're going to get to like vote people to join the house before the season even begins, connect with the cast all on Facebook, and then there's going to be like a watch party and things like that. So I think it's interesting. I think it's a totally relevant way to bring it back if you're going to do a reboot, because to me, Real World was kind of like played out, and I don't really see like much of the relevance anymore. But I think that they're bringing it to Facebook. That's kind of cool. I personally am not going to sit and watch any TV show on Facebook ever, so I'm not going to watch it.
Yeah, I haven't gotten on the Facebook Watch train either. I know there's quite a few shows on there now.
Yeah,
like I think the Ball Family had a show on there. Wrestling does some shows on there, so they're trying to like make it an actual thing. So I guess it's something to keep doing, and I'm sure that at some point a show will really catch fire to make you really want to watch it.
And if one's going to do it, it's probably going to be this.
It could be.
Yeah.
Like, obviously, they still do MTV The Challenge, wildly popular, it gets great ratings. So that brand does a good job, and obviously people loved. I think people got sick of it because it got stale for a while, like the MTV World thing. So I think it was good that they took a few years off of it. But like now with social media, people online, I think it's a great way to make it work in a different type of twist as opposed to people watching it on television. You can watch it on Facebook because people are on Facebook all the time. So it could work.
Cool.
And if you appear to be between the age of 21 and 34, you can try right now. That's kind of crazy that they're up to age. So it's obviously they're doing it for a reason. But they said it's going to be in 3 continents. I think I saw the U.S., Thailand, and some other place I thought it might be. So that's a unique twist to the show. So be on the lookout for that. Ready for a clown of the week?
Yeah.
And we can get up out of here. Do you want me to go first? Or actually, I think I'll go first this time.
Oh,
okay. So
why'd you ask?
I don't know, right? I don't know.
Okay, great.
I didn't really give you a choice to decide. I was like, I'm going first.
Over you.
Mine isn't that good, so I want to hear what yours might be for this week. So my clown of the week is going to Chicago Bears kicker Cody Parkey. Man, he had a heck of a week, and he actually makes a lot of money in terms of like kickers. So he just signed a contract. He is a new Chicago Bears kicker. I think he signed a 4-year deal, which included $9 million in guaranteed money. He's going to take home $5.5 million in 2018, and a $2.75 million base salary for next season is fully guaranteed. That is a lot of money when you only have one job and one job only, and that is to kick field goals. This guy not only missed one field goal, he missed 4 field goals in the game against the Detroit Lions. Luckily, they still won. They all 4 literally hit the right crossbar, upright. It was something I've never seen before, like the dong, like 4 different times. I think the last time he got profusely booed. So I understand it happens. Kickers have bad days. Mason Crosby did it for Green Bay recently, so I understand it happens. He's getting clown of the week because he said that driving from Schaumburg to the stadium where the Bears play at Soldier Field is too far of a commute for him daily. So he never goes and kicks and practices on Soldier Field. He kicks somewhere in the suburbs, totally different. If you ever been to Soldier Field, it's nearby the lake. It's always very windy. The conditions are unique there. So he needs to be practicing on the field. He never does it. He hasn't done it all season, they said. And this week, he has to go out, and he has been practicing on the field. Well, no shit, because obviously if they need you down the playoff stretch, down the end of the season, you have to get it together. And the fact that he has not kicked out there all season in practice and has never gone there, you are definitely getting the clown of the week for that. You have one job, and why would you not practice where you're going to be playing your game? So, sorry you're getting the clown of the week. You're luckily they did not release you. Most kickers normally get released when that happens, but they give another shot, but you better make it good.
I have no comment.
That's like crazy. I can't believe 4 kicks in a row. But I was like, it happens. But when I read that he never practices there, I'm like, bro, what are you doing?
And someone wrote that on our Facebook. I mean, I had read the article before anyway, but that was Tom Love, right? That hit us up on Facebook and let us know about that and reminded us. That's crazy. Like, how are you not going to practice where you play?
Yeah, I've never heard of that.
And we got him from Miami, didn't we? Where there's like little to no wind.
Right.
Come on, bro.
And the fact that the team are cool with him never going to practice. So it's a lot of red flags there, but luckily it didn't cost him the game. But sorry, you're getting the clown of the week for this one.
Awesome.
Who you got?
All right, so if anybody remembers last year when People Magazine named their sexiest man alive, they named Blake Shelton from The Voice, and people were like outraged because he's gross and he looks like a dad. He's disgusting. And people were mad and were like, why not Idris Elba? And so this year, People Magazine made Idris Elba the sexiest man alive, which that's my man. He's
God.
so hot. I totally agree. He totally deserve this, but since it was such like a social media push, there was a lot of like, it was trending and there was a lot of people on board with it because people literally last year asked for him to be the sexiest man alive this year, and that's never really happened before that's happened, and then the next person has won the next year, so it's kind of like a big deal, and a company out there decided to capitalize on Idris Elba's sexiest man of the year award, and they released a doll in his honor that I'm going to show Behun right now, and we're going to get his reaction. This is an $1,100 doll to commemorate Idris Elba being the sexiest man alive.
Let's see it.
Okay, and this is what it looks like.
Oh my God. Oh my God. You are 100% gonna buy that, aren't you? It is
No, it looks nothing like him.
Of course
What
not.
is that?
It just went away, but
Oh.
I saw it for a second. It's ridiculous.
It looks like the guy from Weeds. What's his name?
I don't know. I don't watch Weeds, but-
Romney whatever. He's also in A Million Little Things. And
Yeah.
looks nothing like Idris Elba.
It does not.
Looks absolutely nothing like Idris Elba. We've seen this. We've seen like Ariana Grande got like a Barbie doll or whatever. Looked nothing like her. But this is sad. It looks nothing like him. It looks really creepy. It looks like your creepy uncle coming to Thanksgiving. Like, I don't know who the hell this guy is. And so they're my clown of the week for selling this ugly doll, blasphemy against the sexiest man in America right now. And they're selling it for $1,100.
You gonna buy it?
Hell no.
If it looked better, would you buy it?
Absolutely not. No, $1,100 is a lot of money. You can buy a lot of things with that. Yeah, but I am going to post it on Facebook, so check it out and let me know your thoughts if it looks like him or not.
Definitely post that.
I will.
Awesome show. That was great.
The show.
That we always do a good job. So we thank you for listening. We love our fans, getting better and better each and every single week. You can find us on
You said bitter at
bitter
first.
and better.
Better. We're getting better and better.
I need a drink. It's been a long day. So
No wine today? You didn't bring any wine?
No, I didn't bring it. I didn't get a chance to stop because I thought I was running a little bit late. So got some friends at Cubby Bear, so I may run there for a minute. Or I might just go home because it's cold and I'm tired, but may get a drink on the way. So you can find us on 247liveculture.com. We always give them a shout out. They got a great platform. They host our show on their page, so make sure you say what up to them and tell them Alternative Facts Chicago sent you. Please make sure that our live show is coming up December 2nd at 7:30 at Chicago Theater Works. We would love to have you there. We're actually, I think we might be the finale of the entire Chicago Podcast Festival. I think December 2nd is the last night, so I'm pretty sure we are the last show. It might be one other after ours, so we are essentially the main event, so can't wait for that. Make sure you come out and support us. Tickets are only $14. What you got to say before we get up out of here?
That's it.
That is
I'm
it.
ready
So,
to go.
episode 67, we love you all. We will not be back next week, obviously, for Thanksgiving, so enjoy your holiday. We'll be back the following week, so this episode will run for 2 weeks, but maybe what we'll do probably for the next week is just kind of repost and replay some of the best episodes in the history of Alternative Facts Chicago. We got 67 to choose from, so we'll definitely be doing that in the next week, but we'll definitely be back after that before the Christmas holiday. So, we thank you all. We love you. This is Behun Kate.
We're out.
Episode 67, we are out.
Peace.